All right, everyone. Well, it is 11 o'clock, so want to get started over here. So again, thank you all for joining our next webinar that we have here in our community college series. It's been really awesome to kind of come every couple of weeks and just talk through some different things that we're noticing with a lot of the partners that we work with and just a lot of the trends on the community college side of things, especially within higher education. So today what we're going to talk through is how to strategically plan your budget before the end of the fiscal year. So really interesting topic. I know for most community colleges, your fiscal year is a bit different than for universities. Most of yours are August 31st. So that's what we're going to go off of today. You know, end of the fiscal year is August 31st, beginning of the fiscal year, September 1st. So how can we strategically plan a budget that you have before the end of the year? So again, we are Net Natives. We're the student specialist marketing group. I'm an account manager here with Net Natives. So I work with a number of different community colleges around the United States. A lot of them have different challenges, budgets that they work within, you know, different scopes of work across. So here at Net Natives, we're specialized to, as the saying, specialize within student recruitment. So we focus on the full recruitment funnel, but we also work as kind of this full marketing group. So we've got a lot of different factors that we can help out schools within, and I'm going to talk about a lot of different things that we haven't discussed before on community colleges. We've done some things on marketing, some things on open houses, but today's going to open up a couple of cool things that we're going to talk through. So what this webinar is looking at today is the different areas that you can commit budget to before the end of your fiscal year. And I mentioned looking at that August 31st date could be different for some of you depending on the state that you're in, but this is kind of what we've seen on the community college is that it ends August 31st. So if you have the benefit of a surplus or you're looking to increase your marketing outreach or admissions for the upcoming year and new fiscal year, these techniques are proven to helping you hit the unique recruitment challenges you may be facing. And what they're going to cover today is looking at three different things. So the first is research. The second is creative, and then the third is going to be CRM automation. So you may currently be doing some of these things. These may be new to you or things that you're looking to develop. So we're just going to talk through some experiences that we've had with certain schools, as well as some recommendations as well. So the first that we're going to touch upon is research. So when we look at research, this is a great quote here, looking at the most successful brands are the ones that connect with the student audience. And that connection comes from understanding how your brand connects inside out. So this is kind of, you know, this whole presentation is actually focusing on how research, creative, and CRM automation can really coexist. So that way that they can help, you know, your student enrollment, hitting those challenges, hitting those goals that you're looking for by the end of the year. So first, starting off with research analysis. So research is vital in helping to inform and shape messaging that is used across marketing. As I mentioned, really tying everything in terms of student recruitment. Today, we'll be looking at a few different examples of how research analysis can help you achieve your objectives and goals. Now, we have a few examples. Since it's research related, we have kind of blanked those out. So you'll see University X or College X that we're talking through here. Again, these are some internal research things that we've done. So again, keeping everything private in terms of those universities, but some good examples for you to see. So the first is looking at research project with University X. So the objective is understanding the internal and external perceptions toward the school in order to effectively position a creative strategy, concept, and messaging that cuts through. So looking at a recommended approach, first is surveying current students and prospective students using quantitative and qualitative questions. Looking at current student audiences, again, prospective student audiences. This is how we're going to approach to get this research data that we want to have. And then alongside perceptions of the brand of this University X, we will explore perceptions of any competitors as well to help understand positioning and potential upselling points. And what is delivered when we get this recommended approach? It's a survey to be shared with current students in panel, an overarching report outlining the survey findings segmented by different audiences where applicable. And then finally, it's key findings to inform your brand campaign optimization. So again, combining that with marketing. So this research, again, I'm going to show you specific examples of what we can do and obviously what you can look to do as a school to help with your marketing efforts and recruitment. So the first is looking at question from the research project. So how familiar are you with University X? So again, these are questions that we're proposing to prospective students, current students, panels, essentially anyone that we recommend to pull, but anyone that our universities like to pull. So you'll start to see questions like this, where again, we're focusing in New York City. So are you familiar with University X? 2 and 5 saying they are familiar with it, compared to just 1 and 5 for those interested in Washington, D.C. So you're going to start to get a lot of these different questions that are coming in. And you're going to see, again, how are these responses? Pretty simple, very familiar, never heard of it, heard of, but not familiar. So you can start to, again, get these background responses, especially for community college side of things. You know, you may be one county away from a specific town that someone is growing up in. They may not be familiar. This could be on courses that you offer as well, different programs. Now, again, I know within your state specifically, you know, marketing research may come into play. There may be some gray areas in terms of, you know, we can't market in these specific areas because with the community college there offers the same school. So I know it can be different depending on where you are. But again, I think these are just good ways of looking into different areas. Another questions from research projects. Here's a list of facts about University X programs. Please rate how appealing each fact is to you. So you can start looking at unmatched networking, curriculum, world-renowned faculty. So again, these are some of the things within your community college campus. This can say, you know, intimate class sizes, you know, the financial aid aspects or the cost to study here. Again, that's going to put you above and beyond what a four-year university is looking like. Maybe it's students that might be looking at dorm rooms or places to live. Some more community colleges are offering those now. So these are different questions that, again, you can start to see from these research projects. You know, the responses from your current students and your prospective students. So these are going to be the best ones to inform your strategy moving forward. You know, again, here's some other ones. What institutions did or are you considering applying to for a business program? Why did you consider them? So again, this can be something where we look at, you know, what are some four-year universities that you may be looking to apply to? Again, it's going to be exactly how we can position your school versus your competitors. So this can look at the four-year universities in your area where it's basically like, hey, do we want, you know, the ability for you to go to a two-year school and then transfer from there? So a lot of different things that we can look at, but again, this is where you can get some really good feedback like location and cost, the reputation, proximity, quality. Again, a lot of things to position your community college around. These are a lot of the words that will come in affordable fees when looking at the benefits that you have versus a four-year university. So further examples of research analysis we have is looking into brand perception and awareness of University X among prospective students, as well as motivators and barriers to enrollment. So here you're going to see we have some other things. Please check the boxes below for each word that you associate within the university. So this is actually really interesting. Start to get more kind of adjectives of how you would describe your community college. So you could see things as from all prospective postgraduates, University X is viewed as safe, modern, and fun. As with prospective undergraduates, again, this is an example from Southampton, so this is over in the UK, but really good thing for you to see, but it rates highest on measures such as prestige and quality, while Brighton is seen as the most fun and unique institution. So again, here, versus your competitors versus other community colleges where you may offer similar programs to them. So students are, you know, potentially going into another school or another community college they're enrolling in. You can know what they're doing better. You know, do they have more campus life? Are they doing more athletic events that students are encouraged to go to? Do they have dorms that, you know, students outside of the area are going to and living in? So again, just some different things that you can provide and take a look at. How familiar are you with each of the following universities? So again, this can look at that community college side of things. You know, we had something similar that we're looking here, but this is to kind of show that, especially within community college, research is really important because we can look at all of your different audiences. You know, you have your traditional audiences of high school students that are potentially coming in, but you have your non-traditional students that make up anywhere from 10 to as high as 20, 25%. You know, those adult learners that are coming in, a lot of times it's really great to pull them because the students that you already have enrolled, they're going to set a great example of how do we reach those students that may not be aware of the courses or the certifications that we have here, but they may be aware of your competitors or other schools or other four-year universities in the area. So just really good approaches that net natives can offer, but research as a whole is going to give you that strategy that you can help position what I would call your brand pillars, or what makes you the strongest and what makes your advertising the best. So looking into here is, important factors when choosing a nursing school. So again, this can be something if you have different programs. For example, we work with community colleges that have business programs, they have nursing programs, technology, health, safety, public service, whatever that may be. This can be something where if you're looking for careers in these specific programs, so you may want to grow your public service and safety if you offer those courses, or technology, you're doing some really great, HVAC certifications or program right there. Important factors when choosing a school like this. So it can be directed towards that. And you're gonna get kind of this feedback of looking at the rankings, tuition costs, financial aid, location, etc. So again, important ways to start to position how you're going to reach out to a lot of these other students, and how you can compare and contrast versus your competitors. What is the first thing you think of when you think of University X? Bubble charts show the most frequently mentioned categories for each of the other audience groups. So common categories that respondents thought of across the groups were expensive, prestige, reputation, and quality. So you can see here, again, it's interested students, previous students, and decided not to attend the university. So this is going to be some really good things. And I think this is a way, especially for community colleges, you get thousands and thousands of applications throughout the year, because for a lot of community colleges, they don't charge an application fee. Some do, and some do not. And typically they're a lot less expensive than what you see from either the Common App or just from applying to a school in general. So a lot of students will apply, and you'll get a lot of students that don't enroll. So this is a perfect opportunity to reach out to them with these surveys. Again, setting up this research, asking them questions why they did not attend your community college, because this is going to give you some idea. Now, again, a lot of these things are not within your control, but some of them are, and it's going to give you that sense of what that will look like. And then again, here you can see how is University X perceived by. So again, looking at target audience versus, hey, internal stakeholders. A lot of your schools work within a board, a state board, etc. These are good ways for you to see, again, how they're ranking versus how your target audience is. Again, on the right-hand side, we can also do working at, like I mentioned, business schools, nursing schools, how much you would like, to study there. So again, this can be in comparison with other nursing or business programs that are offered within your area. So whether that's a four-year university, whether that's multiple community colleges. So these competitor analysis are really great into seeing what programs you might need to ramp up and start investing more within, offering more classes, etc. The next point that we want to touch on is creative. So we've just gone through this whole research piece. It's given us everything. It's given us what we're doing well, what students are recognizing us for. And then on the other side is, what do we need to improve on? What do we need to showcase? So again, this is now giving you the tools to go in and say, all right, we want to adjust to a new creative. Now, how I look at it, I think that for a university, school, community college, that your brand, your creative should change within every 2 years. It's really something to keep your brand extremely fresh. Most businesses stick to this practice as well, switching within every 2 years. It just gives them a new sense of like, hey, this school is, they're improving, they're doing things new. This is really unique of what they're doing. So to showcase how Net Natives looks into strategic approach, we look at 4 different areas: the problem, which is the human problem behind the business problem; the edge, what makes you unique and motivating in the audience's mind; the strategy, a new way of seeing the business based on all of this; and the truth, a new or hard truth that sheds new light on the problem. So basically, the truth is kind of starting the process of being like, hey, this is what it actually is like here, regardless of what we think. How are we going to fix this? So then you get to the problem. What's our edge that we have? And here's our strategy to go beyond that. So first we need the human problem behind the business problem to ensure our campaign resonates with the audience, not just internal staff. So this is looking at Audi in terms of cars, but they want to convey a serious message about its cutting edge safety technology in a witty way. So that's their business problem. Why is that? Because the audience are overwhelmed and it's hard to cut through the noise. Well, why is that? Because the audience are bombarded by other drivers and motor advertising. And then the human problem we figure out is because, well, they're all the same. All drivers are dangerous and all motor advertising is predictable. So this is kind of how we just develop, hey, these are the human problems that we have within our community college that people are recognizing. So this is where we go into, okay, how can we fix this? What are we looking at next? So that's when we need to identify your edge. So our campaign connects what the market wants with what you actually offer. So the audience, drivers want to stand out from every other car for what and how they drive. The market, saturated by same and serious. Audi needs to show their approach is distinctive. The brand, equally committed to improving road safety and the quality of their cars. The product, Audi's multiple cutting edge technologies ensure drivers feel protected. So again, we see on the right, what does this mean? Beautiful cars with amazing brains. So we identified what makes Audi unique. And similarly, this is what we do for schools and universities that we work with. And then it looks into the strategy. So this brings all of that together, giving us an informed opinion on how to win with your campaign. So the strategy we could see here is show that Audi technology makes you look better than every other idiot on the road. So again, here we've analyzed everything, we've got the truth, and we've gone through to the strategy. So now the next step is, how are we going to make this creative? So this is kind of a board that our creative team utilizes to sort of look at different branding, different images, different creative that are out there right now, and creating something that exists within specifically how can we, showcase this edge? How can we showcase the strategy? So I'm going to show you two distinct examples actually for community colleges that Natives has done a full creative branding with. So the first one is Redlands Community College. This is based in El Reno, Oklahoma, about 30-45 minutes outside of Oklahoma City. So, what we really saw with Redlands Community College was that it was really tight knit. They really worked within this, specific kind of rural area outside of a big city. But we really like kind of utilizing this map function of their creative, kind of says more about their community as well within their specific area. And we mentioned some things like put yourself on the map, this community here that we're building off of and putting your ideas out there. So again, we built this for them. It's very bright, it's very engaging, and they use it across all of their marketing. They use the different color schemes here. Previously they had a red, but now we can utilize different colors, one being red, yellow, blue, purple. Again, this all fits within it. Gives you some animation for your ads as well. When you're running advertisements on social media, the ones that look the best and that interact are going to be clicked upon. So this is something that we've built from them at the beginning, and now they're running on their ads, experiencing an uptick in enrollments as well. And then the next one to showcase is Lamar Institute of Technology, which is a 2-year college in Beaumont, Texas. So about a little over an hour outside of Houston, close to the border of Louisiana as well. So Lamar Institute of Technology, their tagline was looking at degrees that work harder. They offer specific programs like welding, like public service, kind of getting your hands dirty, but that really describes their community. It's, a school where you come to get a position where, it's may have to get a certification to work an odd job, or, you go there to work in welding or HVAC, et cetera. So they recognize that a majority of their students are kind of bypassing a 4-year university, but they're coming here to gain knowledge in a field that they can go right into the workforce. And again, utilizing bold colors, utilizing that animation to make their brand stick out more and more. So this is how we kind of tie in the research side of things that we do on the front end, and how we will build a creative brand for you to utilize moving forward. And then next is looking into CRM within automation. So really kind of going forward here, this is first of all, asking some internal questions first is, How are you tracking potential students from first touch point to enrollment right now? You know, what do you utilize for that? Do you have a CRM? Are you currently just using Excel? You know, what does that look like? When a student submits their information online, where does it go? Who contacts them? Does an email get sent automatically? Do they get added to an email campaign? Does your admissions department feel overwhelmed by the amount of manual outreach to prospective students? Do they need more time to go to on-site events? What does that look like? Can you measure cost per enrollment as your advertising efforts? For the X amount of dollars that you put into advertising, do you know how many enrollments that can generate? So what we're going to kind of talk about is really introducing the CRM automation that we have created in-house, which is Akiro, which can actually do all of these things here. So again, if you're currently working within a CRM that you utilize, Akiro can also be a tool that you can integrate within that CRM. And if you don't have one at all, it can encompass everything within CRM automation and nurture tracking. So looking at 3 different areas here, the first Akiro is looking into Akiro marketing. So it's designed around you to make student marketing easier. What you can do within Akiro marketing, you can create your own landing pages right on your platform, right on the Akiro platform. You can create your own forms so that when students fill out a RFI, request for information form, it all exists within Akiro. You can go through A/B testing as well, which is really important to see how specific ads or specific images, text, colors will compare and contrast versus just another form of it. It's really looking into the personalization side of things, making things more automated by giving them a personalized approach. And again, here, as you can see, it's going to increase the quality of your student inquiries, access qualified audience through unrivaled data. But most importantly, you don't need any coding knowledge or dependence on your IT teams. Myself, I don't have any coding knowledge at all, and Akiro is something that I can use very easily. A lot of teams and admissions or marketing teams that we work within, same thing. It just kind of streamlines and makes it a lot easier that they can go without having to work within their IT team to get certain things launched. These landing pages you can create in a minute. It's very fast, very efficient. So that's one side of Akiro. The next side that it looks at is Akiro recruitment. So this is where your recruitment team, this is where we want to focus on getting your touch points from first contact to enrollment. So you've created those landing pages, you've created those forms. Now you can look into prospect management, marketing automation. So when a form is completed and filled out on your site, an email gets sent out to that person right away. And then a second email gets sent out 3 days later, and they get added to an email drip campaign that can go on for months at a time. And you have everything set and ready in place. So your recruitment, your admissions team can spend their time not sending those annoying copy and paste emails or annoying one-off emails to a potential student that they don't want to spend as much time until it gets to be more qualified. So this is how Akiro works within this side of things. But basically through these applications, through this kind of prospect management tracking, Akiro has the tools for you to track the cost per enrollment, for you to basically measure for the X amount of dollars that I put through to advertising, we can actually see how much did we get for people to enroll. Again, on the community college side, not more so applications, but how can we enroll? You can also run your applications through Akiro as well. Redlands Community College, which I showcased before, they have all their applications through Akiro. So it does provide that portal as well for you to do that. And then finally, Akiro is an understanding platform as well. So it's always going to be providing analysis and research for you to utilize also. So we talked about those research pieces on the front end. Those are more so designed at the beginning of your campaign to really see how people are interacting with you. Akiro Understand is focused, all right, how are everything that we've created, so the advertising that we're running, the form performance. So if we put a form, how are people interacting with those? The page performance. It can also track call performance as well. So you can look into specific things of how are we doing on calls? How are we engaging with prospective students? But these are all specifically designed to work with higher education. So Akiro is a software that was created by net natives. It's specifically just used by higher education institutions, used by community colleges, used by four-year universities, anyone looking to recruit students in some capacity. So, we would love the opportunity to showcase to you more of Akiro. Essentially, the best way to do that is to reach out to us to schedule a demo, because it's going to be more complex, provide more time, giving you kind of the intricacies of it. But we're really proud of what Akiro and what we've created in-house here and the capacity of how it can perform. So, please, as we move forward here, next step, and this is everything that I wanted to cover really, is kind of the key takeaways is first one, as I mentioned, that first quote, the most successful brands are the ones that connect with the student audience. The connection comes from understanding how your brand connects inside out. Second one, we need the human problem behind the business problem to make sure our campaign resonates with the audience, not just your internal staff. I think that's probably the biggest thing that all schools, businesses, and the like, they just look internally, but they don't look externally to see what everyone else thinks, because it can look very different than what your internal perception perceives. And then finally, a CRM system should be in place to allow you to track students from first touch point to enrollment and measure cost per enrollment, to give you that money. So that way, at the end of the year, this is the budget that we need to generate this amount of enrollments. And if we can get more, we should be able to generate this. So it's perfect for your, the higher ups, the boards that you may work with. So, really the best way to go about this next steps, if you have any questions, or if you'd like to schedule an Akiro demo or see more specific examples, please visit netnatives.com. My email is listed here, matt.pagano@netnatives.com. Our roles here are to help you within your problems, talk with you about the challenges that you may have as a university, as a four-year school, as a community college. This is really everything few and far between. And again, we've talked through research, creative, automation, marketing, whatever your needs may be. And again, this may be a fact-finding conversation for you to have here, but we have a team, that really wants to work with all the schools that we can help, especially throughout these times. There's a lot of changes coming on. Things are looking brighter than they did 1 year ago today. Campuses are opening up now, but still, 1 year off of students kind of, maybe taking some time from school, we need to get those students back there. And these are specific ways that we can help engage with current students, prospective students, former students, alumni, to keep them, coming year in and year out. So really appreciate all your time today. Again, we are doing these on a month-to-month basis. So we hope that you join next month. And we, hope you had a great time. If you have any feedback, please let me know as well. But thank you for your time, everyone, and hope to talk to you soon.